How does a man effectively but prudently shepherd a woman who's part of the church, other than having your wife involved?
I would say two things. One, we all believe, that the most important shepherding and discipleship work is coming from the pulpit. I know we assume that. We usually think of discipling as one-on-one or small group, but we don't want to discount. That is God's appointed means to see the sheep fed and nurtured and grow. So we're doing it that way through the public teaching and preaching of the word. If the question is then more narrowly, how does a pastor, how does a man in a more intimate setting shepherd, disciple a woman, I would say he doesn't. Of course, there's ways that there may be exceptions to that rule. If you're leading a small group that is mixed, and that's one way. If you're in a group and your daughter's there and it's her friends and you're leading their group or something. But if the idea is, okay, I'm the pastor or I'm the campus worker, how am I going to, what's the right way for me to one-on-one disciple this woman? It's to find a way to train up women to do that work. I hope that doesn't sound legalistic or hopeless, but I'm trying to think of where I have done that or where I would think that was a good idea.
Well, agreed, and yet I think you can supplement. I mean, what we're trying to do, the pulpit's primary. The second is we're discipling their husbands, right, or their fathers. But the third to me, that doesn't mean, though, that you can't shepherd them and pastor them individually. And I find most of that happens on Sunday mornings before and after the service. Is they're in the hallways and you're just having conversations, intentional conversations where you're delving into their life. You know that they're hurting because of this or that, or you heard through the grapevine that they had a hard week in this regard. And so I go into church each Sunday with a list of, in my mind, these are 12 people I want to try and touch if I can see them on Sunday. And half of those are women every Sunday, because that's going to be my opportunity in a public setting where I can have a brief, 5-minute conversation with them that can.
I do talk to people in my church. Jason, what do you do? And Jason is a better shepherd than I am, and meets with more people and a more fastidious counselor. What would you do if I had a woman? Well, we have a lot of pastors, so they probably see someone better besides me. But if they contacted me, Pastor, I'm having a big issue. I really want to talk to someone. I might meet with that person, in my office with the door open, all of the precautions, and I hear, this issue going on with my husband, or I just really need help, whether married, single, whatever I meet with them. If the woman then said, this was super helpful, when can you and I meet again? Whether it's crisis counseling or it's just, I would love for you to just walk me through the book of John. I would do a handoff, probably after one meeting. What would you do?
Same. Agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Agree. Yeah. I think either a handoff to another woman, or you have one more meeting. I've done where I've had one more meeting, bring a woman in with me with the idea that she's now taking it. So, yeah.
What about as a ruling elder? You have an elder district. Say there are 20 women in your district. How are you supposed to prudently shepherd them? Because you could text them and say, what should I be praying for? Which might be a box to check. But are you really shepherding through those kind of limited means? So that was more of the thrust of my question. How would I do that other than involving my wife?
I think, so a lot of us And that's great. We at URC, we have it now at Christ Covenant, have elder districts, and elders oversee, 20, 30, 40, 50 members there. I think there's a lot of things that the email or something that says, how can I pray for you? It can be a check off the box, but it can also be really meaningful. What I always tell our guys, because they have 40 or 50 people in their elder district, I try to make abundantly clear, because the men can walk around with a lot of guilt, and so I say it over and over. We are not asking you, this is not your small group. We are not asking you that you have to be the best friend with all these people. We're not asking you to counsel all these people. We're not asking you to personally disciple all these people, because I don't think that's possible, whether it was a group of 50 men or mixed with women. What I am asking our ruling elders to do is to provide, to see to it that there is a network of care in that district, and to be a backstop so that they know, I do have an elder, he knows me, I know him, and I know that he knows my name, he's praying for me, and there's someone I could reach out to when there is this problem. But I wouldn't think that the ruling elders at Christ Covenant need to have the burden, how am I going to disciple either the men or the women in this church? I would see it more high level than that, with dropping down when called upon for specific needs.